high blood pressure, belly fat, increased risk of heart attack and diabetes. So these are the health risks of what? Now, you probably guessed being overweight, but actually, those are the health risks of a bad marriage. Crazy, right? It used to be said that marriage is good for your health, but now we know that that is only the case for men. So, married men do tend to live longer and be healthier, regardless of what kind of marriage they're in. But for women, marriage is more of a mixed bag. So, yes, a good marriage is good for a woman's health, but a bad marriage can actually shorten her lifespan. So, when there is a lot of anger or hostility or defensiveness or conflict in your relationship, your body feels it. Those increased stress hormones affect how you process insulin, it affects your immune response, even where you store your fat. And what's totally unfair is that these health risks hit middle-aged women the hardest. So, yes, men get distressed and unhappy when they're in a bad relationship, but it doesn't seem to translate to their physical health like it does for us. So, if you need any more reason to get out of a toxic relationship, let it be this. You're not only losing months and maybe years of your life to this person, you're also ruining your health. Hi, I'm Amy Waterman. I am a love expert here at yourbrilliance.com. And in this video, I want to share with you 3 unexpected signs that you are in a toxic relationship and you should think about getting out. Sign number 1 is wounds take longer to heal. So I experienced this one firsthand because after being in a horrible relationship, I finally got out, and that is when everything just fell apart. Because of course, he wasn't going to let bygones be bygones and allow me to live my new life in peace. So with that conflict continuing almost as bad as it was when I was in the relationship, I felt under the weather for a long, long time. And my hands would get scraped really, really easily. Like I used to think like my skin had become thinner and I would end up bleeding all over the place. And I ended up having these scars all over my hands from these little scrapes that would just keep getting knocked open and just would not finally heal. Even more strangely, I would look down at like my arm or my leg and I would see this new bruise and I would have no idea how it got there. And the bruises would take forever to go away. It was such a relief when I finally came across some research that explained all of this. So it turns out that relationship conflict decreases the production of pro-inflammatory proteins known as cytokines that you need for healing wounds. Who would have guessed? Sign number 2 is insomnia. So I have never been like a great sleeper, but also I've never been somebody to take sleeping pills, except on very rare occasions. But this toxic relationship changed my sleeping patterns for good because there was so much stress when I was in the relationship that I wasn't able to relax when it was time for bed. And it got so bad that I would lie awake all night and I would still be awake when that alarm went off in the morning. And that sort of thing had never happened to me before. But I didn't link up the two. I just assumed that I had this insomnia problem. I didn't realize I had a relationship problem too. So if you've started having insomnia and it's nothing like you, consider whether it's related to your relationship. Sign number 3 is weight gain. Yes, the research is in. Bad relationships can actually make you put on weight. And they found this out in the famous Whitehall study, which was a longitudinal study of UK civil servants, and the link was clear. Being in an unhappy relationship made you likely to put on 10% or more extra weight, regardless of whether you were a healthy eater with healthy habits. So why? Well, it turns out that when you're constantly stressed, you have this constant barrage of the stress hormone cortisol. And cortisol causes sugar cravings. It slows your metabolism. And even worse, it directs all your fat storage to areas like the belly. So maybe you're experiencing some of these symptoms, but you're not really sure whether your relationship is toxic or not. So I will leave you with 4 questions to ask yourself. And these are the questions that the Whitehall study used to determine whether a relationship was happy or unhappy. Okay, are you ready? How much does your partner give you worries, problems, and stress? How much would you like to be able to confide more in your partner? How much does talking to your partner actually make things worse? And how much would you like to be able to have practical help with major things from your partner? So if you're in a relationship that is one problem after another, and if you avoid confiding in your partner because you know he can't cope with what's going on inside of you, if talking to him just makes things worse, and if you need help with stuff, but you can't rely on him, then your relationship isn't the support that it should be. And it could actually be harming your health. Now, if you want to learn more about toxic relationships, I've got several other videos on the topic, and I will put the links to those below. Take really good care of yourself.